Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the airport lighting. To achieve a uniformity and to guide the pilot for unfamiliar airports, colors and general arrangement of airport lights are standardized. Airport lights are kept clean and well maintained and checked regularly for faulty bulbs and replacements. And it is tough and laborious jobs in which the major airports will be contain about the 30,000 lights, and so that it requires a provision of an emergency power supplies which can be taken over in seconds in case of any power failure. So let us discuss about the what are the factors that are affecting the airport lighting. So the factors that will be affecting the airport lightings will be we all know that the lightings are provided for the visual aids of the aircraft pilots. So the factors will be affecting it will be, first one will be airport classifications, what type of airport it is, internationally or domestics, the amount of traffic, how much aircraft is landing into it, the availability of power, nature of aircraft using the airport, the type of night operation plans, and the type of land surface that is provided, which terrain is it, and the weather conditions, etc. will be affecting the lighting of the airport. So now let us see what are the elements of an airport lightings. So it can be, the elements of an airport lightings are, first one is the airport beacon, the second one is approach lighting, the third one is apron and hangar lighting, fourth one is boundary lighting, fifth one is lighting of landing direction indicators, sixth one is lighting of wind direction indicators, seventh one is runway lighting, eighth one is taxiway lighting, and the final one is threshold lighting. These are all the elements of the airport and it should be included. So let us discuss about the airport beacon. A beacon is a strong beam of light that is used to indicate any geographical location situated slightly above the horizontal. So once again, it is a strong beam of light used to indicate any geographical location situated slightly above the horizontal, which will rotate to produce a flashing light to an observer. So it gives out a white and green flashes, sometimes it may be yellow or something, in horizontal direction at 180-degree apart, and flashes are visible for the pilot for any direction of approach, and it indicates the approximate situation of an airport required for the night operation. It rotates at 6 revolutions per minute and mounted at top of the terminal buildings or an hangar. So if the obstruction is not clear for an airport beacon, then a separate tower is provided for an installation of rotating beacon, and a code beacon which indicates the light provides sufficiently high to the clear all obstructions, and it consists of two 500 watts bulbs with a green color screens. Continuously flashes a Morse code signal designating the airport. So this is a figure indicating the airport beacon lighting. So now let us discuss about the approach lighting. So before the runway begins, a sequence of a high intensity lighting arrangement for a length of 900 meters is required, which will be helping the pilot to check if the aircraft is centered correctly or not. So it gives a way to touch down the zone light from the threshold of a runway. Normally it is mounted on a pedestal varying height to accommodate any irregularities in ground, ensuring the lights themselves are in level. And the arrangement that is adopted for an approach lighting, there are two type of arrangements that is approved for it. One is this Calvert system, and then second one is ICAO system. So let us discuss about the Calvert system. It is widely used in Europe and other part of the world, and it is developed by the ES Calvert in Great Britain. In this, there are 6 transverse rows of light of visible length placed at a center to center distance of a 15 centimeter. In this, the roll guidance is principally provided by the transverse row of lights. So this is an Calvert systems of an approach light you can see that the lights are provided before it is the runways is started, and it can see that the light is placed at a distance of a 30 center to center distance of a 30 meters, and it will be all overall of in about 900 meters, and you can see a transverse flow of light that is provided to it, which is of 150, which is between 150 meters. So next it's discuss about the ICAO system, and known as a central line configurations. So known as central line configuration. In this, there is only one crossbar of 300 meters from the threshold. So in this, the roll guidance is provided by bar 4.2 meters in length, and it is placed at a 30 meter center to center on the extended center line of the runway, and a single crossbar 300 meters from the threshold. The 4.2 meter long bar consisting of a 5 closely spaced lights to give the effect of a continuous bar of light. So this is a system of ICAO system of approach, and you can see that there is a before the runways and the threshold that this system is provided, and in which 21 sequence of a flashing light that is in bluish white, which is provided at a 30 meter center to center distance, that is indicated by a red circle, and it is provided by a 28 centerline bar which is at a white color, which is also placed as a 30 meter center to center distance, and there will be a bar will be provided for a meter of 30 meters bar, and at that there will be a providing a crossbar of white, and there will be a pre-threshold wing bar of red light that you can see in 4.2 meters in the figure itself. And this is a system of an ICAO system of an approach light, which is little bit complicated when compared to that of the Calvert system. So let us discuss next thing is about the aprons and hangers lighting. So I hope you all know about what is an apron and hanger. So these are the areas that are for flood lighting, which are provided by flood lighting for the convenience in the services and loading. So flood lighting will be provided in there, and this flood lighting systems constitutes a projector designed to be arranged to illuminate a surface, so mounted in such a way that they do not cause any glare in the eyes of the pilot, passengers and service personnel. So the recommendation is that floodlight should be placed at a height of not less than 12 meters above the pavement. So next thing is a boundary lighting. The entire boundary of an airfield is provided with a light at a center to center distance of about 90 meters with a height of about 75 centimeter from the ground. If the fence is provided along the boundary, then these lights should be placed inside the fence at a distance of about 3 meters, and it is for indicating a hazardous approach. The boundary lights are provided with a red mark light. So this is the boundary lighting which is placed in the aircraft, means airport, with a color indicating a red light. So the next thing is lighting of landing direction indicators. So from the name itself, it is mentioning what it is used for. So the landing direction indicators is illuminated with a suitable light arrangement so that the airport can be used at night also. So it is the figures indicating the lighting that is provided for during the landing or for landing directions in an airport. So continuing it with it. So the wind direction indicators is illuminated by a 200 watt angled reflector placed 1.8 meters above the top of the cone for providing a continuous lighting at any position of the cone. The arrangements grants the use of wind direction indicator at the night during the bad weathers. This is the case of a wind direction indicators. So the next thing is with the runway lighting. So after crossing the threshold before threshold runway, the pilot must complete a touchdown and a roll out on the runway. So the planning of the runway lighting is carried out in such a way that the pilot gets enough information on arrangement, lateral displacement, roll and distance. The lights are so arranged so that they form a visual pattern which the pilot can interrupt easily. During the night landing, flood lightings were used in the olden days, but now the runway edges lighters are adopted. So there are some patterns. One is a narrow gauge pattern. It is the most precise runway alignment which is used widely, and it makes use of a certain center line and touchdown zero lights for operations in a very poor visibilities. So next is there will be a black hole effect, as it is the case that as the pilot crosses the threshold and continues to look along the center line, the principal source of the guidance, namely the edge light, have moved far to each side in the peripheral vision. So as a result, what is really happening is that the central area appears to black and the pilot is virtually flying blind for the peripheral reference information. So this is a narrow gauge pattern for a runway lighting, and you can see at the top of it there will be a threshold lighting. If it is green, the aircraft can be approaching the runway, and you can see that there is an elevated runway edge light which is of a white in color that is in place in the edge, and there will be an 18 group of white lightings at a 60 meter center to center, which is a narrow gauge lighting, and and there will be a flush grid white lightings will be provided, and you can see that the central line runway flashes white lighting systems will be provided in a runway lightings. The figures will be important if in the case that if there is any questions related to will be asked, the figure is also an important thing. So this is the runway lighting system. So let us talk about the taxiway lighting. So the pilot has to maneuver the aircraft on a system of a taxiway to and from the terminal and the hangar area, either after landing or on the way to take off. The taxiway system is such complicated on a large airports, and therefore it is necessary to provide an adequate lighting at a night and at a daytime when the visibility is very poor. So design consideration that is to be applied to the visual aids for the taxiways. First one is that for a normal exit, the center line terminated at the edge of it should be at the edge of the runway. And at taxiway intersections, the light continue across the intersections, and they are placed at a distance of 6 meters to 7.5 meters along the straight length and 3 meters to 3.6 meters along the curves. So the complete route from the runway to the approach should be easily identified, and the edge light should not extend more than 75 centimeters above the pavement surface. So continuation, the exits from the runways should be so lighted that the pilots are able to locate the exit 360 meters to 400 meters ahead of the point of the turn. The intersection of the taxiways and the runways, taxiway crossing should be clearly marked. The light on the tangent portion are placed not more than 60 meters apart, and the distance from the edge along the curve and the intersection to facilitate in easy identification. The spacing will be varying from 6 meters for the curve of radius of 4.5 meters to 60 meters for a curve of 300 meters. And there should be an adequate guidance along the taxiway, and the taxiway edges light are blue and the taxiway center lights are in green, and the taxiway should be clearly identified so that they are not confused with the runway. So the lightings of the taxiways and the runways will be very different, and so that when the airport and an aircraft is coming, they should not be confused with whether it is a runway or a taxiway. So this is a typical taxiway lighting layout, and in which you can see that in the edges the lighting the blue will be with a uniform spacing that is not to exceed of a 60 meters, and you can see an entrance exit sign that will be provided in it, and there will be a runway edge light that will be of a white in color, so that you can see that the taxiway the edges color will be blue and the runway edges will be of in a white color, so that we can able to differentiate it from the runway and the taxiway itself. So let's comes to the final one. This is the threshold lighting. So what is the threshold lighting? And the identification of the threshold is a major factor for decision of the pilot to land or not to land. For this reason, the region near the threshold is given with a special lighting treatment. So it is indication that the aircraft should be landed or not when they are reaching the airport. So at a large airport, the threshold is identified by a complete line of green light extending across the entire width of the runway. So they must be of a semi-flashing type that protruding not more than 12 centimeters above the surface. So it is before the runway that it indicates whether to the aircraft to be landed or not land, or to be passed through a runway. So at a smaller airport, the threshold is identified by 4 lights on each side of the threshold, and they can be of elevated types, that is protruding more than 12 centimeters above the surface. And the threshold light is in the direction if the landing are green, and in the opposite direction they are red to indicate the end of the runway. So this is indicating the landing, it will be green. So this is a typical airport lighting system, that you can see that there is a threshold that is showing a red green light, and from that there will be a runway numbers, and in which in the edges there will be lighting will be provided, and after that the runway you can also see the taxiway, and at the far end you can see the airport beacon, and the segmented circle traffic patterns will be indicating the wind directions indicators will be there, and a number of white whale runnings light will be provided, and you can see that in the taxiway blue lightings will be provided, and this is an typical airport lightings that is provided. So this is threshold lightings, which is indicating the green light and the red light. So hope you all understand about the airport lighting. Thank you.